This is the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 12. One woe is past, and behold, there comes two woes more hereafter. Blockade Yahweh, Blockade Yahweh, Blockade Yahweh, Blockade Yahweh. Yahweh is the name who the world calls God, and Yahweh is his son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. First and foremost, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Ba'Hashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostle of Great Millstone, who grew well and taught me this truth. And salutation to the Akim out there pushing this truth with sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh's sake. I'm Brother Samak from the GMS Miami camp. And yes, the reason why I read the book of Revelation, chapter 9, verse 12, all right, is because you have breaking news that came out today where America has come out with plans, all right, to prevent Russia from trading, all right? And this is what John the Revelator saw. He saw World War III come, all right? And he saw these nations getting into battle, all right, because we're at the end, all right? This is the time of prophecy. And when you read headlines like this, it just proves that the Bible is real. So let me read this headline, all right? And then I'm going to go into another article just to prove, hey, man, when you go into economic warfare at this type of level, the only thing that's next is military warfare. Naval blockade would mean war. Moscow slams U.S. idea of hampering Russian trade, right? So you're messing with the money supply of Russia. You're messing with their economy by using your military navy, all right, to block trade. The article goes on as follows. It says, attempts to use the U.S. Navy to block Russia's trade would amount to a declaration of war. Let's go back to the scriptures. Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past, right? One woe is World War I. And behold, there comes two woes more hereafter, right? World War II, and then that happened. And of course, what's coming now, what's coming into fruition, it's around the corner, World War III. A high-ranking senator commented on the U.S. Internal Secretary's idea of impending Russia's energy trade through a blockade. Quote, a U.S. blockade of Russia would be equal to a declaration of war under international law, said the head of the Russian Senate's Information Policy Committee. Alexei Pushkov, commenting on a report that U.S. Internal Secretary Ryan Zink suggested the U.S. could use the Navy to block Russian energy from hitting Middle East markets. All right? So this is literally an act of war. All right? Now, where has the United States have done this before? Of course, World War II with Japan. Let's read this article. Blood and Oil, Why Japan Attacked Pearl, meaning Pearl Harbor. Americans will always consider the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor on December 7, 1941, the ultimate act of international treachery, a blow delivered without warning. But the prevailing Japanese view has always explained the attack in quite different terms, portraying it as a predictable response to American actions that left Japan mortally vulnerable and with no alternative but to strike. In the Japanese view, these U.S. actions centered on oil, as in the most conflicts of this war-scarce century, oil was a major factor in World War II, a precious resource that shaped everything from global strategy to theater, military operations to tactical maneuvering at the battlefield level. A recently discovered diary from Emperor's Hirohito's age make clear how the Japanese have viewed oil importance in the Pacific War. It quotes that the late emperor as saying, after the war, that Japan went to war with the United States because of oil and lost the war because of oil, right? Because of all the embargoes that America put on Japan. And Japan, all right, is a import-based economy. They import more than they export, especially when it comes to oil, right, and metals. So that's what John saw when he saw in Revelation 9 and 12, one woe is past, and behold, there comes two woes. Right, World War II, and then the third woe that comes right now. And when you read this article, man, it's plain that World War III is around the corner. The Russians are being pushed, all right? And America is doing all this, trying to keep their power. Pushkov also called, let me get back to this article. Pushkov also called Zinke's claim that the trade expansion is the real reason behind Russia's involvement in Syria absolute nonsense. The very idea that Russia could potentially supply energy to the Middle East, which is literally oozing with oil, is absolutely detached from reality. Pushkov said, indeed, Russia does not supply any energy to the region, which itself a major oil exporter, and has never announced plans to do so. Which he's bullshitting, because all these nations want the oil in the Middle East. All right? Because of Yahweh Bashim Shai. He has put the spirit on these nations to go into the Middle East, all right, to try to get those resources, all right, to keep their country powerful, you know. And this is the proof right here. Revelation 9 and 13. And the sixth angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High. Verse 14, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. All right, and Syria, all right, is the country that the great Euphrates runs right through, and that's where the hot zone is at. All right, and you have all other. In fact, let me get a map to show it, just to prove, man. It's good to look at maps when you get an idea of what's going on. All right, let's go to Syria. Euphrates River. All right. So let's zoom in. Bear me one moment. Delazor, that's spirit, because that's where really the major. There's a lot of oil here. Is where there's a lot of reports coming out of here in the Delazor province of Russian forces and American forces. In fact, you can look this up. You had Russian mercenaries get gunned down by American forces here. All right, they said something about between 200 and 300. All right, that was reported by Reuters, Associated Press, and other mainstream media. But here's the Euphrates River. All right, and this is where the angels are stirring up the pot, man. The Euphrates River goes all the way through the Middle East. Okay, it goes through what other countries? Iraq. That's why you have America's military here. You got Iranian military. There's been reports on that. It goes all the way through. Okay. To where it. I mean, if you look at it, it continues going, and it goes all the way through to where it ends. All right, out here. All right. So you have the hot zone all through here, because these are the angels, okay, of the Most High, stirring up the wars, stirring up World War III right here. All right. This Bible is a book of prophecies, and if you're not coming in the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, which is prophecy, you shouldn't be picking up this Bible. In fact, you should just get ready to get hit with a nuke. In fact, let me get that scripture out. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 19, verse 10. And I fell at his feet to worship him, and he said unto me, see thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant. Right, this is John the Revelator. He fell at the feet of the angel. All right. And the angel's telling John, hey, don't fall to your feet. I'm your brethren. Okay. Because the angels are, all right, they work for Yahweh Bashim Shai. Okay. And the angels are here to protect, okay, God's chosen people, which are the Israelites. And are thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahweh Shai, worship Yahweh, for the testimony of Yahweh Shai is the spirit of prophecy. You see that? Is the spirit of prophecy. So if you're coming out of the Holy Bible, you better have prophecy on your tongue. And if you're not talking about prophecy, you're not a prophet, you're not a man of the Lord, all right? You're a deceiver, and the Lord's going to destroy you in this third world war, man. All right? Because nuclear war is coming out of this. There's no stopping it. So let's get back to Revelation chapter 9, verse 14. saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And that's what you're seeing, right? The angels are stirring a pot. That's why you're having all these tensions between Russia and America in the Middle East, okay, as well as Iran, the fake Jews, right? All these other nations that are in there. There was another article, I'm not going to pull it out, but you can find, they said there's over 68 different countries in the Middle East, all right? Verse 15, and the four angels were loose, which are prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for the slated third part of men, right? And that's you Edomites, all right? That's why you have your major superpowers like Russia and America, okay, locking horns with each other, all right? Because you basically, you Edomites are going to self-kill each other in this Third World War. And I go to 16, and the number of the army of the horsemen were 200,000 and heard the number of them, right? And that's talk about the nukes that are going to fly. And where they're going to fly, more specifically, Babylon, America. All right? Let's see if there's any more on this article. Right here it says, attempts to exert pressure, on Russia are not going to end in anything good, right? War is going to come out of it. World War III. A member of the Russian Senate's Defense and Security Committee, Franz Klintsevich, told journalists, adding that they will lead to a major scandal at the very least, and Washington should clearly understand it. Russia's MPs call Zink's words disturbing. It is unsettling that our partners once again resort to threats, sanctions, and unfriendly actions instead of discussing the pressing international issues. A member of the State Duma International Affairs Committee, Anton Morozov, said, he also said that Russia has something to respond with, but that such actions would only lead to an escalation of tensions and called for dialogue instead. Right, what's that response? War. There's a reason why Russia's testing their missiles, their hypersonic missiles, all right? Washington seems to be bothered by Moscow's international trade. The Trump administration has been seeking to replace Russia as Europe's gas supplier by boosting exports of its liquefied natural gas, even though Russia's gas is cheaper option for Europe, right? Because Europe and Russia are close. Why would Europe want to do a business with America when they got to ship all that liquefied natural gas overseas? That takes money, and Europe's in debt. All right, but this is what's happening because America's losing their power, and America is seeing Russia doing trade deals with Europe. Right, not only with oil, also when it comes to payment plan in terms of buying oil. They don't want to use the American dollar. And then if you read this, continue on, it says, with the Germany, it says U.S. officials, including President Donald Trump himself, have repeatedly pressed Germany to pull out of the inappropriate Nord Stream 2 pipeline project, which is set to double Russia's natural gas transport capacity to 100 billion cubic meters, while Moscow has repeatedly stated that it's purely economic project. Trump claims it will make Germany a captive of Russia. Right, because, you know, at the end of the day, man, Trump, all right, is just playing the game, man. All right, his agenda is exactly what the elites in America want. All right, they want to control the world. All right, and Trump can bedazzle you maggots, saying that he's trying to make peace with Russia. No, he's not, man. He is full on board with the agenda. All right, to contain Russia. And he's just playing, you know that old saying, good guy, bad cop? Well, he's playing the good cop, while his constituents, all right, like John Bolton, all right, and his other administrative political officials, they are talking all this shit on Russia, all right? So let's get to another scripture, because this is what's going to stir the Medes up, which are the Russians, to attack America once and for all, man, all right? Isaiah 13 and 17, behold, I will stir up the Medes against them, which shall not regard silver, and as for gold, they shall not delight in it. Right. So this is to America, all right? The Lord is stirring up the Medes, all right, by, okay, you doing all this shit to them, all right? And they're getting angry, all right? Because while you continue to put pressure on Russia, which are the Medes, all right, the Russians are going to have to act in a confrontational manner, which is war. Verse 18, their bowls also shall dash the young men to pieces, and they shall have no pity on the fruit of the womb. Their eyes shall not spare children. Right, and that's what's going to happen, man. The Russians are going to attack America. And they're not going to care about your children here in America. They're not going to care about, all right, your young men, all right, your military, all right. They're going to destroy them. Verse 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. Right. What happened to Sodom and Gomorrah? Fire. So what's coming to America? Fire. America's Babylon. So that's the nuclear war. That's the Third World War. Let's go back. Just as John revelated what he saw. One woe is past, Revelation 9 and 12. One woe is past, and behold, there comes two woes more hereafter. All right, verse 13. And the sixth angel sound, and I heard a voice of the four horns of the golden altar, which is before the Most High, saying to the sixth angel which had the trumpet, loose the four angels which are bound in the great river Euphrates, which is happening now. That's why you're seeing all these tensions. When you read these news articles, you should see prophecy is happening. The angels are stirring the pot for World War III. All right, verse 15, and the four angels were loose, which were prepared for an hour and a day and a month and a year for to slay the third part of men. And that's why when you go to Isaiah 13 and 17, and Isaiah 13 and 19, and Babylon, the glory of kingdoms, the beauty of the Chaldees' excellency, shall be as when Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. So that's what's going to happen. All you Edomites here in America, you're going to perish in these last days. It's the Bible, man. You can't get out of it. And all those jakes that are still believing in America, you're going to die here too. All right? Because you shouldn't be believing in America. America's out. You see what they're doing now? They want to block Russian trade using their military navy. All right? These are the times that we're living in. Verse 20. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Right. So there's going to be no commerce here in America. There's going to be nobody living here in America. All right? This place is going to be ashes to ashes, dust to dust, ruins. Verse 21, but wild beasts of the desert shall lie there, and their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there. Right, that's the only thing that's going to be living here. Owls, doleful creatures, all right? Verse 22, and the wild beasts of the islands shall cry in their desolate houses, and dragons in their pleasant places. And her time is near to come, and her days shall not be prolonged. And it's not going to be prolonged. If you're spiritual, you can see it. World War III is going to happen, man. America is going to get destroyed by nuclear fire. It's already written. John the Revelator saw it. He wrote it down, all right? And that's why, all right, it's going to happen, man, because Yahweh, this is all done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, this is his movie. So Lord willing, this is edifying. Once again, this is World War III update. As you can see, the U.S. Navy is now wilding out. This is America. They want to now put a blockade on Russian trade, and that's cause for war. Just like America did to Japan, they put an embargo on Japan's oil supply. Again, America is doing the same thing with Russia, all right, blocking, trying to block, want to block, all right, Russian trade, all right. This is what's being discussed behind the scenes. Why you maggots are still so in tune with the Kavanaugh bullshit. Anyway, that's another topic. With that, I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushai Ba'Shem Kodash. Double honors to the apostle, great millstone, who well and taught me this truth. And salutation to the Yakim out there, pushing this truth to sincerity throughout the four corners of the earth and risking their life to do so for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushui's sake. Love you, brothers. Keep the door and keep the faith. And with that, Shalom.